Hi, my name is Scott West. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Datto. Welcome to this special edition episode of Talk Nerdy to Me. Today I have the privilege of being joined by two key people on the networking team here at Datto. John Tippett, our VP of Product, and also Andy Katz, our Senior Network Solutions Engineer. So, John, let's start with you. We have some great announcements that we made at DattoCon 19 in San Diego this year, and today we're going to talk about those and understand exactly what they mean. So tell us what's new with Datto Networking.
Definitely, it's a really exciting time with Datto Networking. We announced a new update to our Switch series, the E310 series, and we also announced Network Manager, which is an entirely new way to interact with the entire suite of Datto Networking products.
Tell me a little bit more, the E310 series, that sounds interesting.
So the E310 is the latest enhancement to the Switch lineup, specifically the E series. We launched Datto Networking with the E series, which is basic layer 2 functionality, all managed in the cloud, PoE on all ports. And we got a lot of feedback from partners. First and foremost, that looking for a lower cost option to help deploy Datto Networking into cost conscious opportunities for partners. And so we launched the L series a year ago, and that's been a very successful line from a compact fanless 8-port model on up, and that line continues today. And then in the E series, we also got a lot of feedback for more features, more functionality. And at DattoCon, we announced the E310s. It's the latest in the E series lineup from Datto Networking.
Excellent. So we're going to get into some of the specifics around the details around that, but just at a high level, tell us what we can expect, what partners can expect from that.
A lot. It's a big enhancement. We've lifted the entire hardware platform to the next level, starting with layer 3 capabilities for management, which was a big feature request. There's 10 gig uplinks available on all models, including the 8-port, so 8, 24, and 48 port, and the 24 and 48 port have 4 10 gig ports. We even made the 48 port more shallow. We had a lot of feedback that it was very large. It's a robust PoE budget, 740 watts, so it took a lot of space, but we've actually reduced that space so it fits nicely in a rack. And we've added a lot of functionality like ESD surge protection and just general hardening of the product overall, and an entire new group of software functionality.
So, Andy, let's talk a little bit about that software functionality. Tell us about some of the specific software features and capabilities that are in the new switches.
One of the things that's really great about the 10 gig uplinks is now they're more flexible. With the E24 port, we could only take our optics, and now we can support DAC cables. So our partners have more flexibility with interconnecting the switches. There's a lot of software features, layer 3 being nice because now you don't have to send your traffic up to the router or firewall to route between VLANs. It's done on the switch locally. We got a lot of requests from especially voice partners that wanted to see that in the switch. We've got more security enhancements. You can no longer plug a rogue DHCP server into the network and then create havoc. IPGP snooping is there, ARP inspect, IP source guard, even spanning trees got protections now like BPU guard and root guard to just create a more comprehensive secure switch for the switch closet. So it's a lot of really great features.
So Andy was talking a lot about the new features and capabilities, but you mentioned Network Manager earlier, John. So tell us what Network Manager is and what that brings to the table.
So all of the features that Andy mentioned, the challenge when we talk to partners is not only a desire for those features, but how do you interact with them? How do you intuitively get to these features and quickly and efficiently deploy switches? And we have reimagined how you interact with the Datto Networking product line and are excited to announce and launch Network Manager.
Is this specific to switches or is this across the board?
It's across the entire fleet. So it started with thinking about the switch lineup and a lot of these features and functionality. You saw us previously announce templating, where you can clone a configuration from one switch to the next, and we updated the pages. We've carried that all the way forward now to Network Manager for access points, switches, power. The routers are now fully managed in this new platform. We've rearranged features to make them easier and more intuitive to get to. We've made the functionality more robust with enhanced user management. We've started the process of implementing more advanced alerts and logging features in the cloud as well. And now the check-in is more frequent than you've seen in the past. So you have quicker access to information that's happening in the network, which is very effective for troubleshooting and accessing the data more in a real-time environment.
Yeah, the Datto Network Manager is a huge shift, right? There's a look and feel operationally, it's easier to use, but there's more fidelity coming off the logging on the switch, which gives the MSP more information and closer to real time, which is something that we've gotten a lot of feedback on, of course. So it's great that we can bring that forward with this new switch platform. A lot of the other things that make the switch interesting, especially in Datto Network Manager, and it goes back to the template idea, is that one of the things that makes Datto networking so exciting and so MSP centric is that it's entirely cloud managed. And the fact that I can do most of my deployment logically before I ever get on site means I spend less time in the car on the way to the customer site. So I can provision the switching using the templates. I can provision all the access points and all the SSIDs entirely from my computer in the office. And that's I think one of the things that makes our stuff so exciting, is that you can do that without having to go on site, console in, set up each independent device one at a time. Saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, and to Andy's point, it comes from the conversation with partners. Like, all of this is built for MSPs. That is literally the only customer that interacts with our product. And that's what has driven the roadmap for the development of the new E310 series and Network Manager. So the idea of being able to set up a network ahead of time is all built around efficiency, and that's key in an MSP's business. So being able to set up the network early, having the experienced resources in-house able to do work so that on-site it's minimal interaction with the product. Those are all things that were very front of mind when we were developing Network Manager, and we thought about that as you interacted at each level of from purchasing the product in Portal right to Network Manager, setting it up so that you go on site and literally plug it in, it gets its config, and you're off and working in minutes. Right.
Yeah, one of the drawbacks for having only cloud management is if the cloud interface is restrictive and it doesn't give you enough information in real time.
Right.
So now that we have all that together, you can feel confident that you're not missing something by not having local access to the device. That's the vision for it.
So Andy, you talk to partners pretty much every single day. What do you think is going to get them really excited about these new switches?
Less restriction, right? There's more feature. It allows you to get more specific about how you deploy your workflows. You can interconnect switches at a higher throughput. These are all things that partners have been asking for. And the thing I love about Datto is that we really champion those features for our partners based on what the feedback is.
Yeah, and we get that feedback from a sales engineer, solutions architect feedback. We also are on the road, events like DattoCon, and we talk to MSPs at every level of their business as well. So to Andy's point, we're talking directly to engineers in the field trying to solve a tactical problem, and we're addressing that with features. We're talking to help desk engineers and people who want to manage and get to these products remotely, but also business owners, which gets to how you get this product, how is it positioned, and all of that comes together to advise all these updates that we're focused on at Datto Networking. The E310 and Network Manager just being the latest of a continued innovation path for us at Datto Networking that's driven by the conversations we have with our partners.
What's a great example of that is, switches are born typically with spanning tree to prevent loops, but a lot of partners ask for loop prevention using loop detect. So you have options now. So they're both in the platform. Those are the kinds of things that I think that make Datto very tuned into the MSP and what the engineers out in the field are trying to accomplish.
We've been talking about a lot of new capabilities, a new switch line, new network manager. Are we changing the way that we fundamentally price these products?
Not at all. It's a good question, because when you hear about all the new features and functionality, all the things that Andy was talking about that are like in the actual product and capabilities, you would think that, okay, something's going to change. I'm not going to be able to afford this product line. And you have to go back to what is our focus at Datto Networking, and it is to enable MSPs to have access to the functionality that they need out of networking products, but to be able to purchase it and sell it through aligned with managed services and make margin. That's what our partners are in business for. And those guidelines are still true for this product line. So you'll see a lot of this new enhancement, a lot of new features and capability, but it'll still be very true to the mantra of how we deliver and price the Datto Networking product line.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that partners ask for stuff and then we get stuff and then the price stays the same. That's awesome.
It's a fun conversation to have with partners, and we're fortunate and excited to be a part of Datto and developing this Datto Networking product line and seeing the success of our partners as a result of those efforts.
So John, Andy, thank you very much for your time today. It's been great to hear about all these exciting new capabilities within the Datto Networking product line, the new Network Manager and the new E310 switches.
Absolutely.
And thank you everybody for joining us today for this special edition of Talk Nerdy to Me. If you have additional questions about the E310 switches or Network Manager or any of the Datto Networking products, please visit datto.com/networking. Thank you.